Hello, here we go. It's the Cop-Eye Podcast.
What is happening, Reds? Welcome back to another Cop-Eye Podcast. And yeah, I'm Mick, and I'm joined by Dan Moxon. Thanks for jumping on, Dan.
Pleasure. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done actually an instant match review, and I just thought, what better way than being 1-0 down at Anfield and coming back and winning 3-1. And then Spurs just scoring against Man City as well. So I thought, double whammy, let's jump on while it's strike while the iron's hot and enjoy it for the 10 minutes that they're ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean City are going to be 2-1 up within the next 20 minutes, you'd imagine. but no, let's enjoy it while it was a good goal as well. And anyone who hasn't seen it, Son breaks the offside trap, runs through, lays it on for the new man Kulusevski. He put it straight through, best defender, fullback in the Premier League, Joao Cancelo's legs or whatever they're calling him these days. But yeah, straight through his legs and in the back of the net. So happy days.
Superb. Let's hope for more of that. But we're here to talk about the Reds anyway, so let's jump straight into that. Obviously, done a show earlier with Farrell and Doug, and we had a little chat about the starting lineup and whatever. But I haven't obviously asked you yet. But what were your thoughts on the starting 11 before, when it came out? Obviously, Joe Gomez right back, Trent not in the squad, Simicast left back, and much change in midfield. Ox and Cater in there, and Luis Diaz on the left wing.
Yeah, I mean the Trent one was the big surprise for me. You already know this, but I for some reason I triple captained him in my fantasy Premier League team, and then I saw he wasn't even in the squad, and just anyway. But yeah, no, that was a little bit of a surprise. But I mean, if he needed a rest, he needed a rest, and without any disrespect meant to Norwich, if you're looking at games where you can rest players like Trent at home against a team like Norwich, is probably one of the more favourable fixtures to do it, isn't it? Simicast starting, that's no surprise, I don't think. I think he's proven himself to be a pretty able deputy, and again, it's a decent opportunity to give Robertson a bit of a breather, especially considering he's been right back in form lately, Robertson, hasn't he? So, but yeah, a lot of changes for Liverpool today, and I felt that disrupted their rhythm, to be honest. I think there were a couple too many changes, and I think that might have played a part in Liverpool taking quite a while to actually really get going in the game.
Yeah, I think it was early doors. Pukki has a chance, and it's well worked, to be fair. Like, edge of the box, great, but little ball into him, and he probably should score. And it's like, when it got to half time, I was like, actually, I'll take that, because we weren't sharp at all in their half. I think Diaz had a bit of a tough half up against Max Aarons, I thought. He was struggling to get the better of him. Obviously, Max Aarons is really quick and strong, so it was always going to be a difficult one. And I think as the game wore on, you saw Diaz kind of floating inside a little bit more to try and drag him out. Because I think a straight up foot race against them was probably a difficult one for him. But yeah, I think the first half obviously ends 0-0. I mean, there was a few chances in there, like I said, the Pukki one. We had a couple as well, not major, but I think when it got to half-time, I think I tweeted something like, we need to get Robbo and we need to get Thiago on ASAP. And obviously that didn't happen. And then they score pretty much 3 minutes after the restart from an absolutely crazy goal, really, when you look at it, like a breakaway counter pretty much. And then Rashika knocks it in front. I think he's getting chased down by, I can't remember who, but then he just smacks one and hopes for the best. And then Matip just pulls his leg out and one of those long legs, and it flies in. And you're like, oh my God. But then it's probably a good time that it happened so early in the second half, because we had plenty of time to kind of get ourselves, well, basically give ourselves a kick up the arse, because we needed it.
Yeah, we did, and as you said, the fact that it came so early gave us plenty of time to at least make a difference. But I suppose the most frustrating thing is that it took Liverpool going behind to really start getting going. Because, I mean, some of the football played, especially later on in the second half, it was a hell of a lot better. But yeah, no, it took Liverpool far too long to get going. And yeah, in many ways, we've got to be grateful for that goal, because without it, yeah, I mean, obviously it's a dangerous game predicting how games would have gone if certain things didn't happen. Without that goal, it seemed to be heading towards one of those games where, you keep playing for a while, but you're just going to struggle to score. But yeah, them scoring forced Liverpool to really up their game. And as you alluded to there, Thiago coming on, that was the real catalyst for the change, I think.
Yeah, and I think when you look at it, like Mane's, to be fair, the two goals come within like 3 minutes of each other, like Mane's and Salah's. But so in terms of the changes, Thiago comes on and Divock Origi comes on for Ox and Naby Keita.
Yeah.
So it was kind of really pretty much a start throwing the kitchen sink at them type move in terms of not bringing off any of the front three at that moment in time. But the goal from Mane, obviously great play, and Tsimikas nods it straight into Mane, and Mane just pulls out this like little like bicycle kick type maneuver, which
yeah, he's finally scored one of them, hasn't he? He's been trying them lately. There was one in the one that he did midweek against Inter Milan. When I first saw it, I thought it was him, and then I noticed it hit the side netting rather than actually got him. But he's been trying them a bit lately, and then it's nice to see him actually get one. Hopefully, that'll make him stop doing them now, though, because he pulls it out a bit too often.
Yeah, he does try it a bit, and you're like, "Come on, Sadio!" Just there's times where he does it, and you're like, "You could header that, you could chest it down and volley it, you could do whatever the fuck you wanted." But I'm glad that one.
Yeah.
It was just a huge sigh of relief, and I think that was kind of felt within the ground, and I think the players also felt that, and I think Norwich also thought, "Ah, fuck, now we're going to be under the cosh even more." So, obviously, between their goal and our goal, there's like what 16 minutes, so they held out quite stoutly in that time. But once we got that one, and then Salah, let's talk about the Salah one because it's just absolutely terrific, isn't it? Like Alisson's ball, long ball, reminiscent of the one against Man United, and then Salah kind of takes a good first touch, to be fair, but then he does this thing where he kind of lingers with it a little bit too long, and you think to yourself, chance is gone. But it's happened that many times now where I don't really think that anymore. I'm like, he's gonna probably get a shot away at some point. It's just whether the angle's been closed down or there's going to be too many players on the line for it to go in. But the way he maneuvers himself and then hits it, and it kind of rolls to the opposite way of where the defenders are going, it's just an absolutely top class goal, isn't it?
It is, and it wasn't the cleanest of hits, I don't think. And normally when you see Salah in that sort of situation, he usually strikes the ball so purely and so cleanly and stuff. But and as you say, his finishing abilities is proven over the entire time that he's been with Liverpool now. He's proven that when he gets in that sort of position, chances are he's going to hit the target. But yeah, like you mentioned, Alisson, he's the one that he makes that goal. I mean, just so many keepers get the ball where he's got it there, and they just play a little pass out and maybe start trying to build from the back or something like that. But he's got the awareness to play that pass. Not many other keepers, I don't think, around have the awareness to pick him out, or the awareness to see him, and then the ability to pick him out. And then, as you say, as soon as Salah gets on the ball, there's that little worry that, like you say, sometimes it can take a little bit. Oh, it seems like it's taking a bit too long. And there's that split second of, oh god, the chance has gone. He's waited too long. But never in doubt when Mo Salah's got the ball at his feet.
Yeah, and I think even if the Mane goal provided the sigh of relief, the Salah goal was just the kind of a release of euphoria that, like, right, that's the goal we need, and then we can kind of relax a little bit more. And
you noticed that with the atmosphere as well. As soon as obviously the Mane going in was a big relief, but as soon as Salah went in, we're back in front, and it was party time again, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, we've touched upon obviously Thiago coming on and Divock coming on, but in terms of Thiago coming on, like, he's just we've got to talk about Thiago because he's unbelievable, isn't he? Like the way the way he moves the ball and how quickly he does it, and always on the front foot in terms of looking forward and whatever. But he did change the game, didn't he, when he came on, Thiago?
Oh, definitely. And I mean, this is without a doubt, I think, the best sort of football Thiago has been playing as a Liverpool player. And it's just something very, very different from any other midfielder. He literally just, without wanting to make it sound too basic, he just oozes class whenever he's on the ball. You just know that he's aware of everything around him. You just know that he's already taken that quick glance left to right. He's fully aware of the situation. And obviously, we all know he's got the ability to pick out pretty much any pass that he wants to. But yeah, it just came on, just provided a completely different dynamic for Liverpool in the midfield. I looked at the starting lineup, and Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain, if one of them's in a midfield three, I think that's fine. I think having both of them in there, I think you've got two out of the three midfielders there where they've not sort of proven that they can be sort of in that they can perform at a consistent level in that midfield, but also at the same time they're both sort of they've never really proven themselves to be solid enough midfielders, and especially being in there without Fabinho as the sort of insurance policy behind them as well. That was always a worry, but yeah, as soon as Thiago comes on, completely different dimension, relaxed with his passing, calm, everything is just calm. He never, ever gets excited about anything until we do something amazing. And then, yeah, as soon as Luis Diaz got on the ball, I think we shared it on our Twitter page, the photo of Thiago on top of the rest of the players, and he's there just giving it the big one in front of the crowd. And yeah, no one can doubt his passion, and obviously in terms of his ability, I'm pretty certain he's one of our most technically gifted players, if not our most technically gifted player.
Yeah, and Doug's just actually put a comment here, which I was going to bring up. 150 up for Mo Salah, 2 games in a row. The subs have changed the game. Thiago is a baller. I don't know if you've seen the Opta screenshot, the Opta graphic, I should say, where he's the second fastest in our history to reach 150 goals, Mo Salah, which is just, it's unbelievable. Like, it really is. Like, Roger Hunt, 226 games, Mo Salah, 233, and you've got Gordon Hodgson, 242, Ian Rush, 249, and then Robbie Fowler, 261. So the fact that he's got to that, to 150 goals in, was that 16 games faster than Ian Rush, who is...
I mean, he wasn't
probably our best ever striker in terms of output, and it says a lot, doesn't it, in terms of just how good he is. It's mind blowing, because I think it's at the point now where, I referenced this last week when we had Gerrard playing for us, where he was just pulling rabbits out of a hat every week. You kind of just went, oh, that's what he does, and we've got to the level now with Mo Salah where we're like, oh, that's what he does. But it's only when you look back in a few years' time, when he's retired, hopefully in a long time, that you go, how amazing was this guy? And it doesn't happen where someone comes along and puts up those numbers.
No, not at all. And even to this day, you still get some people, idiots, online that sort of try and deny Salah's just all-round ability. The latest one that they're all coming out with is that he's just a poacher and he doesn't do anything else. Even though it was a second in the Premier League assists, or maybe even first, I can't remember, but he's well up there, and obviously it's important in build-up play and everything like that. He's just a brilliant all-round forward, and as you say, his goal-scoring record is ridiculous, completely ridiculous, and it's hard to imagine what Liverpool would look like without him in the team, which is why the fact that his contract situation still hasn't been resolved is scary, because I get that they don't want to break wage structures and everything like that, but first of all, the cost of replacing him and his ability and his goals would be equal, if not more, than what he would be demanding over the course of his contract for his wages. But also, secondly, it's looking at who's out there. I'm not sure there is anyone out there who could replace Mo Salah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, even if Liverpool, I don't know, in some mad world did sell him, and we got an Mbappe in or whatever, I don't know. I don't see how it's going to be. I don't know. I just don't see a world where Liverpool think it's going to be a good idea to let Mo Salah go. I think every time Klopp's been asked, he's not been coy on it, but he's always said we're working on it. He's never said once that it's not going to happen, or we're at a difficult stage in the negotiations and we're at a stalemate, or the usual shit. It's never anything like that. It's always, it's looking positive, but we just want it to be resolved, because Mo Salah's a player he's not only a world-class player, he's also a world-class athlete. And I think this notion that if players fall off a cliff when they hit 30, he's one of there's exceptions to the rule. Then there's Mo Salah, because he's just another complete level. He can play the top level for as long as he wants, because he keeps himself in good nick. He doesn't drink. You can obviously see whenever he bags a goal, rips his top off, he's absolutely ripped as an athlete. So we need to keep him round. And I think we could see from the goal that he scored, he ran straight over to the cop and was like, yeah, that's me. This is what I do. And it's that type of thing where he knows that we love him and he loves us. And I think it's over the years that we've had him, that relationship's, it's been like a match made in heaven. And I think with Liverpool, like, players like that, they do come along, like the likes of Torres and Suarez, and then they end up moving on, and it maybe doesn't work out. But I think it's happened quite a few times now where players are kind of maybe thinking, I probably should stay here because at the moment we're still in the hunt for 4 trophies, and obviously City, I think, are still losing. I think,
it's still 1-0 down at the moment.
Yeah, but it's like we've got the squad capable of challenging on all these fronts. Obviously, even today we didn't have Jota and Bobby were both injured. Robbo, Fabinho, both on the bench. Both didn't come on. We had Trent, who wasn't even in the squad. And obviously we said it wasn't the prettiest game to watch, but we still got over the line. So it just proves how good this squad is, doesn't it?
It really does. And that's obviously going to be important for battling across lots of different fronts. But yeah, like you kind of said there, with the difference between the situations when we had Torres and Suarez and that sort of thing, it's a completely different club to those times, isn't it? I mean, when Liverpool sold Torres, they'd only just survived administration. It was a club that Chelsea were in a far better position than Liverpool were in terms of being able to challenge for the competitions that he wanted to be playing in and challenging for trophies in. So, yeah, obviously, I know a lot of people won't forgive Torres for leaving to a direct rival, and I certainly understand that. But at the same time, I do understand his desire to want to play for a club that was in a miles better shape than Liverpool were at that point in time. But yeah, you look at it now, and you look at these players, and Salah and Mane examples of, they've only got just over a year left on their contract. But is there another club in Europe that can offer them what we can right now in terms of prospects of trophies and also playing time and also the adoration that we have for them? Just when you put all these things together, I'm not sure there is any place for them to go where they're going to be better off and more likely to win stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously you just mentioned there, and we both mentioned Torres. I just thought that segues nicely into Luis Diaz, because I thought the Gerrard-Torres link-up was very much seen in the Henderson-Diaz link-up for the third goal. It was terrific, wasn't it? Like the movement, I thought, because when you saw it, obviously in real time, you think the finish is great. It's not until you see the more aerial view where you could see Diaz's movement, because he's picked up a space on the right hand side of a 3. He's waited for Jordan Henderson to pick up the ball, and he's made that curved run inside, obviously making sure he stayed on side. And obviously that's worked on in training, because or they're just 2 quality players, either or. It's still worked on in training as well, but Diaz picks up that position, gets through, and the touching and the finish with the left foot just to chip the keeper. And then the celebration. I think everyone pretty much fancied Diaz to score today, but the fact that he did it in that manner and how cheekily he did it was quality, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a way to get your first goal for the club. You'll take it no matter how it comes along, whether it's a tap-in or a 30-yard screamer. But yeah, to do it, like you say, with that, clearly a move that I agree. I think it's something that they've worked on, which is quite impressive in itself, considering Diaz has only been at the club for just over 2 weeks. So that in itself is quite impressive. But yeah, to score so calmly like that when you're still waiting for your first goal, that's certainly encouraging. And going back to what you said a little bit earlier about Diaz, how in the first half he was up against Aaron's, and Aaron seemed to have the measure of him a little bit in terms of pace, and he was struggling on there. And then after the break, he was attacking in a completely different way. And obviously it's just speculation, but you've got to wonder if one of the coaches or maybe the manager has just got in his ear and just explained to him, look, this isn't working. Let's try something a bit different. And maybe that's what's helped him to really, well, he shone in that second half. There's no other way of putting it. He probably was our best player of the second half, apart from maybe Thiago coming off the bench. But
yeah, definitely. And I've just saw Klopp's interview, which I'll do me a little screen share, and let's have a look at that. Oh, I've fucked it up again. I've kept the banner on there. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Let's have a look. So on Mo Salah's 150th goal, he said, outstanding, great number, played a different position and did exceptionally well. Then when he played the natural position, he did well again. I think that's interesting, because I did notice Ox seemed to pick up quite a high right-hand side position for that first half. And Mo was a bit more central. He wasn't out on that right-hand side as much, was he, Mo? So I suppose that maybe did feed into the fact that we weren't as at the races, because obviously when Liverpool changed the system a little bit, in terms of personnel. And if we change the system slightly, I think it does have an effect on us as more than most teams, because we are so I mean, systematic in terms of how we play. Once we get all the players into the right system, and we play the system that we're so good at with the right people, we're usually our most effective. So I don't think it's any coincidence that those little slight intricacies and changes in play had a little effect in that first half. But let's see what else he's got in terms of what he said here. So he's got Thiago with his passing, really fresh, really relaxed, full of confidence. That helped as well. He's a good player. We just have to make sure we can keep him fit, which I think every fucking person who supports Liverpool will echo that. Jurgen, let's try and keep Thiago fit. On Diogo Jota, Diogo was not available. We don't know how long it will take. Bobby Firmino has a muscle problem and is out for a while, so we have to keep the boys fit and create a spirit like the boys did today in the game. I mean, we were worrying about Diogo Jota in terms of that, but he's just said that Bobby Firmino's going to be out for a while. So that's not terrific news either, is it really?
No, not at all. And funnily enough, I did a podcast appearance for a Norwich thing earlier in the week previewing this game, and I was said to them, they're asking me how Liverpool fans are feeling at the moment. I said to them, it felt a little bit weird because we're in mid-February and we've got an entire full squad with no injuries. And when the hell was the last time that happened? And it felt really strange, but obviously that's an amazing thing. And then, yeah, in the couple of days since, we've lost 2 of our 5 main attackers, which isn't ideal. I mean, we're still not short there. Obviously, we've got the trio that played today. As you say, Origi came on, and I thought he had something a bit different of a dimension. Didn't see an awful lot of the ball, but I thought he played pretty well. Minamino got a couple of minutes, didn't really get a chance to do anything. I reckon one of those 2 will probably start against Leeds in midweek, because obviously we've got one eye on that cup final, and by those quotes there that you just shared there, it looks like Jota and Firmino aren't going to be available at least before then. And I mean, I suppose it depends on what for a while is, but it sounds like they both might be missing for maybe a couple of weeks. So it's going to be those 3 going to be the main ones, and then it's going to be up to Origi and Minamino to step up when they're needed.
I'm on mute. What am I doing? Yeah, like Klopp saying he's out, Firmino's out for a while, I don't think that's a promising thing, because I think Klopp would usually go, yeah, I don't think he would use that terminology unless it was going to be a month or 6 weeks, I think, anyway. Hopefully not. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we see them both back soon. But like you said, we've got Leeds on Wednesday. So we did rest Robbo today. We rested Trent today. We rested Fabinho today. So you imagine all of those will come back in for that one. And then obviously we've got the big one on Sunday the 27th when we head down to Wembley. And I mean, I'd absolutely love Jota to be fit for that, because he is the first choice in terms of striker for me now. He has overtook Bobby, unfortunately, because he has been that good and he scores so many goals. So he's going to be a big miss, isn't he, for the Chelsea game if he's not ready?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, take Mohamed Salah out of the team, Jota's probably has been Liverpool's most potent attacking force this season. And yeah, scored plenty of goals, and any team that's going to lose him is going to miss him. And I agree in terms of sort of if you're picking the 3 best when they're all fit. Unfortunately, Firmino probably doesn't make the cut anymore, which it sounds crazy, but Jota, that's how much of an impact Jota's had since he joined the club. So yeah, a real shame for him to miss that one if he is going to miss it, which from everything we've seen so far, it doesn't sound great. Otherwise, like you said, they'd probably just be reassuring, just say, oh, it's a little knock, he probably won't be out for very long. But the fact that they're not doing that, I suppose we're automatically, we're trained now to fear the worst, aren't we?
Assume the worst. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, we're getting on for 24 minutes, so I'll just take this last comment. I think this is a perfect one for you, Dan. Do you want to explain yourself?
You know what? I was looking at it, and it was going to be Trent or Salah, and Salah was my vice captain. It was definitely going to be one of those 2, because obviously double game week for both of them. And I was just thinking, Salah has just come back from AFCON. He played 90 against Burnley, 90 against Inter. obviously we're going to want him for the Carabao Cup final. So I was thinking at least one of these games, and it might still be true against Leeds, at least one of these games, surely Salah isn't going to start. And I looked at Trent, and to be honest, yeah, he comes off at the end of games for the last 5 minutes sometimes, but Trent's not someone who is a bit like Robbo. He doesn't very often have to be rested. And I mean, clearly they've decided that today he either needed one or it was just a good opportunity to give him one. But yeah, that was my thinking. I was just looking at which one of them was more likely to start both games, and I went with Trent. And clearly, I've made myself look a bit of a prat there. But
you never know. You might get a hat-trick of assists against Leeds. You never know.
Well, this is it. I might get the last laugh here because, you just said it there. He could get an hat-trick of assists, bang a free kick in, get voted king of the match, whatever, all that on top. But on the other hand, yeah, I feel like a bit of a pillow at the moment. But...
Well, I'm just looking at mine actually while we're on the topic. Salah's got 21 points, but then I've also just checked and he's getting 3 bonus. So he's going to be on 30 after one game, which is absolutely...
Thanks for making me feel a lot better, Mick.
Sorry, lad. Right, well, let's just check this. It's still 1-0 to Tottenham, but
yeah,
like
it won't stay like that. I'll be honest. But,
they'll probably score as soon as we get off this pod. But yeah, I just thought we'd jump on. Nice, short and sweet one, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. So yeah, nice one to everyone for jumping in the chat. Nice one for Dan for jumping on. We've got Leeds on Wednesday, so I'm going to try and get back into these because I've been shit, to be honest, doing these pods and instant match reviews and whatever. Even when we've been doing well, we were doing them last year more, and we were getting beat all the time at home. We lost like 6 in a row, and I was still jumping on straight after, getting pissed and just laughing.
It's a nice bit of therapy though, just to moan and just get it all out.
Yeah.
You don't spend as much of the rest of the week thinking about it, do you? But
exactly. Yeah, but I'll try and be better because I do enjoy them when I jump on. And Storm, I was meant to be in London, and Storm Eunice fucking fucked up that plan. Yeah. So that's why I'm here, and thought I might as well make the most of it. But yeah, nice one, Dan, for jumping on. Nice one, and for everyone in the comments for jumping in. And yeah, we'll see you next time.